Hi guys, it's Allie with Chaos Monkey, and I am doing an unboxing of these guys. So this is the from Knitter's Pride. I don't know if you can see with the glare, but this is the Ginger Interchangeable Deluxe set, and I've been wanting this one for a while. Excuse me. And yeah, I've kind of been waiting for the prices to drop. And so I was on Amazon waiting for it to drop because they want anywhere from like 130 to 170 and up, and I got this one for 90 with free shipping. So I think the lowest it drops is about 80, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab it now and just pay the $10 since I don't have to pay shipping and just get it done. So but just to give you guys heads up before I open this one, what needles I already have. So I do have a Hiah Hiah set, and as you can see, some needles are on projects, but they usually go from about, I would say, like size 3 to, this is the, there's no way, I think this feels like an 8, so 3 to 8 in this set, and then different Hiah Hiah sets have different ranges. And there's also a separate one that has a shorter needle for like sock knitting, shorter interchangeable needle set. And I like this one okay, but one of the downsides is the case. It's really, really pretty, but it grabs hair like nobody's business. So every time I'm opening it or touching it, I'm cleaning cat hair off because it gets coated, just absolutely coated in cat hair. So that's a downside. Plus, when you buy these sets, they don't give you mini needle cords. So I keep them right back here in the original pouches so they can see the sizes. Is this blowing out, you guys? Again, my lighting is not the best. I'm trying to film in the afternoon because I just got the needles. Let me see if I can brighten that up but not blow it out. Right about there. And so you can see they give you a 16-inch, which is kind of, you can't really use these with those long needle tips because, as you can see, I tried and it bends it, because with a 16-inch cable you need a shorter needle tip. You don't need the 4-inch because you just can't. You can't. It just bends. It doesn't work on the shorter cable. But they do include one. I just never use it because I can't really with this set. And then here's a 32-inch, a 40-inch, and a 24. And that's all you get. And if you need more, if you've got these already on projects and you want to use a different needle size, then oh well. You got to buy extra cables. But the Hiah Hiah cables have very flexible cables. They're really awesome, and also this swivels. So if you really want to try to, if you don't like your needles kinking up, the cables kinking up on you as you're working, this will swivel as it's worked. I kind of do and kind of don't. Depends on what I'm making, that the swivel comes in handy or not. So, but I didn't buy any extra cables, and I just kind of use them here and there. And of course, the 16-inch cable isn't any good until I get shorter tips. And there you go. And then here is my Chia Goose. I do have a set of the Chia Goose, and these are okay, but again, it's the case. The case collects fur. It's the fabric cases, that's just what happens. Hold on a sec. Go get Daddy. Okay, sorry, I had to let my dog out. But so you can see there's a bigger selection in here. This one went from size US 2 all the way to 15. So that was really awesome with this set, and they're really good needles. But there is a downside that your cables, and these are Chia Goose, so they have the steel cables, they only come in small or large, which means, yeah, you get your what is this one, a 22-inch, a 30-inch, and a 14-inch looks like, in each size, but the actual base is in 2 sizes. So if you are using the smaller needles over here, you have to use them with the smaller set. I don't know if you can see that base, but if you're using the bigger needles, they will not fit into these bases. You got to use the bigger needles. So as you can see, I've got them right here. The bigger needles will fit. But if you like, it kind of reduces your cable usage quite a bit, which I find frustrating. And plus, you really have to like these steel cables, which I do for certain things and not for certain other things. So again, that restricts your cable usage on the Chia Goose unless you buy a whole bunch of extra cables, which I haven't done. And then of course they have 2 sets of the stoppers that go on the end of your cables for the small and the large. So that's one of the downsides of the Chia Goose. And then my other ones that I use most often are the nit picks, which are here, and I use my Hiah Hiah. These are what Hiah Hiah gives you to attach the needles and twist them on tightly instead of a, sometimes they give you a tool that looks like this or this, and that's to put it in the hole and to tighten your interchangeables on. I don't like using those so much as using these grippies on all my needles, and you just grip your needle, grip, you know, the base of the cord and tighten them up this way. So that's why they're in here. I use them all the time. But I have a metal set of the nit picks, and I think they went from size 3 to, that's a pretty big size, to 11, looks like, around. And then I also have a wood set in, I can't remember what the green wood is, but you guys can just look on nit picks, and they've got all kinds of different colors now. They used to have just rainbow, and then I think this is Caspian. But I think they've got like 3 or 4 now. But this was a wood set that I got way back in the same sizes. It came in probably the 3 to the 11. And I use these a lot. And these are just some miscellaneous I got. They have some square ones, so I bought the one set of squares, and I think 8s. And then I have another set of wooden, whatever this is called, in the, I think, size 5. So yeah, so that's, and they have tons of cables. I've got tons of cables for these. Lots and lots and lots of cables. And the nit picks cables are usually pretty bendy. I've noticed the green ones and the black ones aren't as bendy as the purple ones, magenta ones. So whatever you feel like using. And so those are all my interchangeables. So I wanted a really good wood set. And so, oh, hold on, I lied. I also bought I can't remember what these are called. That'll come to me in a second. This is one of the last sets I bought. And this was also Knitter's Pride. And this came with, I think, size 2 or size 3 to size, they are written on there, size 6. And these came with black cables that were kind of flexible, not as flexible as the purple ones, but almost. So I'm missing some cables because I don't, and I'm a needle. Don't know what happened to that needle. But these are Knitter's Pride, and one of them, the threads were stripped, so they wouldn't actually attach to the cable. And I didn't get it replaced. That kind of seems to happen a lot with Knitter's Pride, is that sometimes you'll get broken needles, sometimes they'll break right away, or sometimes the threads will be stripped inside here, and you've got to contact them. But from what I've heard, they're very, very good about replacing the needles. So, you know, if you have a problem, they will replace the needle you have a problem with without an issue. Carbons. These are the carbons from Knitter's Pride. And I got these because they're like a composite, which is not a wood or not a metal, it's a composite material here, which makes it smooth but lightweight. So it was kind of a hybrid between the wood and the metal. So I wanted to try them out, and all the joins were pretty smooth. I think I only had one that was a little catchy here. but mostly it was just that one strip was stripped out. And it's my fault. I didn't contact him to replace it, or I could have had it replaced. But you know, life. So those are the interchangeables I currently have. And I wanted to get a nice wood set. And like I said, I've been waiting for the price to drop. So hopefully we won't have any issues with this set. I did read all the reviews online. Somebody said that they snapped right away when they were trying to put them on the cable, and then somebody else said that one of theirs was also stripped out on the inside, which happens. And like I said, you know, you can call for a replacement. So I'm going to go ahead and open these. Again, sorry about my bad lighting. Here, hold on a minute. Okay, guys, sorry about that. There was a lot going on in the house. There was a ton of noise. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and open these. I wanted to get this filmed tonight so that I could actually start using them. So they come in a plastic bag. And that was the only thing they came in. I ordered them from Amazon with something else, and it was just in the box in this plastic bag. So minimal, what do you call it? Trash to deal with. And you can see they kind of tell you what's going on the front and the back here. Now the first thing I do notice is a rubber smell. I'm smelling a rubber smell right away. A vinyl rubber. It's a little uncomfortable, but I think it'll fade out pretty well. And that's probably because that's what this is. This is a faux leather vinyl. So we're going to go ahead and just pop this off and hope everything works. Ooh, it's on there pretty snug. And then as you can see on the back, it says, again, I'm blowing out because my camera, it says your purchase of our ginger needle sets helps bring a smile and a job to 350 plus female artisans in our factory in India, etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, and the wood is ethically produced as well from sustainable forests. So that's another reason I try to buy from them. But I'm going to go ahead and open it, and the snaps are magnetic, and they seem to be lined up pretty well. Oh yeah. So, oh yeah, it's real grabby. They were a little off when I opened it because probably just because of shipping, and once I got them on there, they were really good and attached. Now, as you can see in here, let me turn this around. I'm going to lighten this up again because, again, my lighting is crap. You get a really wide range, which is another reason why I wanted this set, because you get from size, what is this, 2? Hold on. They're in there really snug because it's brand new, but here's a little extra. You also get a pen in the same finish as the needles. That's a pretty good pin. It's pretty hefty. And if I have something to write on, which I don't, oh yeah, it's blue ink and it writes really smooth. And it's a twist, so that's nice, and put that in there. But let me see what size. The sizes are marked at the base, the metal base. And you can see that this says size, oops, upside down, size 3. So like I said, most interchangeable needle sets go from size 3 and up, but this one really goes up. You know, usually they're about 8 or 9. Well, this one goes all the way up to 17. And I loved that. So I really like the fact that it really did a huge range, and this wood is really pretty and really smooth. It's so smooth it almost feels like plastic, and it's seamless from the metal join. I'm going to touch them all real quick. Yeah, they're all really seamless from what I can tell so far. And the wood is really pretty. And then the other thing about this case is, let's see, make sure this works. These are regular snaps, not magnetic. You got a pocket here. And then in the pocket you have stitch markers. And I think these are the magnetic kind. They sell like magnetic necklaces and things if you put stitch markers on. And there are a lot of cables in here. And they're all in a really pretty brown color to kind of go with the set. And these are just stoppers if you didn't know. And then there's the key I was telling you about that you use to tighten, but I usually use my Hiah Hiah twisty to tighten. Another tip too is with metal attached to wood or any other substance, do not twist at the wood. Twist at the base and the cable. So hold the cable here, twist it on, and twist at the base. Don't twist here, because if you twist here when you're attaching and detaching, you're going to break this out of the base. And I think a lot of people do that by accident. So just a little tip, just, you know, be careful how you attach them. Got a little piece of fuzz there. But the quality looks really good. The stitching looks really good. It looks like I got a really nice variety of cable lengths. But I don't know how much camera time I have, so I kind of want to just go over the whole thing real quick, and then we can look at the cables. The outside is nice, the back is nice, all the stitching is good. I'm not seeing any problems. This is actually a soft suede feeling, and this is actually a hard, not hard, but like a harder leather vinyl feeling. So this is like suede and this is like leather. Of course it's all vinyl. And then what I really liked about this one was, now there's a little discoloration on this. You can see there's some discoloration there and a scuff there. This is a pattern keeper. So you can actually put your pattern on this side. Let me show you. So I love multi-use stuff. So what you do is you take these bands, you attach them to the wood knobs on this side, and then you can pretty much set it upright like this, and then put your pattern here. So if I had a pattern, this has 3 magnets to hold this in place, so you can scoot it up and down on your pattern, and then there's an additional 3 of these guys that also stick. So this whole piece is magnetic, which I really, really liked. I like the multi-use, and I don't think, oh here, I've got a piece of paper for my pattern, so this is a paid for pattern, so I can't show you the front, but if you can see, it seems to be really solid. Sometimes the magnets aren't strong enough. I'm putting that through like 3 pieces, 4 pieces of paper, and it's doing just fine. It's not coming off. And then you move it up and down with the words. And these guys, I'm not sure what to do with. I'm going to have to look that up, what they want you to do these with. But the nice thing is, yes, these are the metal stitch. You're going to hear my dog whining in a minute. These are the metal, whatchamacallem. I just had a brain fart, you guys. The things you put on your needles to mark your stitches, stitch markers, they are the metal ones because they're sticking to this. So that is really nice that I can actually, oh no, they're sticking to these. That's really funky. There you go. Yeah, they're sticking to those, not necessarily. I bet one by itself would probably stick to this. But they're definitely sticking to the metal pieces. So if you wanted to put a couple of markers there while you're working, and one of these guys up here, so when you're following your pattern and you're going to need some stitch markers in the future, you can put a couple on there and hold them. So that's really cool. Ow, I just pinched myself. They're really strong. Not a bad thing. And it definitely is holding the paper, and like I said, this is 4 pieces of paper. 4 to 5. 4, 5. So that's awesome that it's that strong. Now I do see a little imperfection there, but that doesn't bother me. And so that's the cool thing, is you get a nice case that hopefully won't collect cat hair, which I was also looking for. And then it's also multi-use. It holds all your tools, everything like cases do, but then it also has, the reason it's so large is because it's also can hold a full pattern, and it's got the extra needle sizes. It doesn't stop at like 11 like most needle sets do. We also have a 13, a 15, and a 17, which is awesome because I do everything from lightweight to bulky, and it's just really nice just to have a full set. Now they also has the little things here, so maybe I was attaching them on the wrong. I'm going to have to actually look where these are supposed to attach to, because I don't think they'll reach here. Maybe it's just to keep it shut? I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to do the initial unboxing, give you my impressions. I love this detail on the piece, and so far I'm really impressed. Very minimal damage. I won't know until I'm going to test all the needles, make sure that there's no problems with the needles and that there's no stripped metal onto the cables. Brain. And I'm also going to, well, before I let you go, let me see what size cables we have in here. I think I still have some time before if my phone cuts me off, I'm sorry, but having technical issues lately, so. Alright, so what we've got in here is 4 packages of some needle stops. So if you need to use those needles on another project, you just take the needles off and put these stops on the end of the cable and leave it in your project. And then they also have the little tighteners in each of those. Ooh, the feel of the cable is really interesting. It's a little grabby, but very bendy. It's very interesting. Huh. And then, of course, you know, typical thread. It matches. So here's, I'm going to say a 22. A 22, so 2 22s, or 24s, a 32, so those are probably most likely 24s, 2 32s, and these are probably 2 40s for inches. Yeah, these look like 2 40s included. So that is a lot of cables included as well, so you won't run out working. And then you have lots of stoppers to put them on hold if you need to use a different set of needles on something else. So you can really get a lot of use out of this set. You know, you're not waiting around for a cable to free up to use it again. So yeah, my first impressions are I'm really, really happy with it. It does have a little bit of a smell because of the vinyl, but it is fading. Even already it's starting to fade, and I am very smell sensitive, so I'm happy about that. The needles are unbelievably smooth, so I can't wait to actually use them so I can tell you how they perform. Because like I said, I just wanted a really good wood set. This is even smoother than Knit Picks wood needles. And also, just a heads up, these cables do fit Knit Picks needles. I don't think Knitter's Pride wants you to know that or advertise it, but I think they are interchangeable. So even better is that if I still need more, I can use some of my Knit Picks cables because I have a lot of them. But they do provide you with 6 cables, which is really nice, in 3 different sizes. Plus some stitch markers that are magnetic, plus the extra magnets, which I assume is just to mark extra parts in your pattern, or maybe just to hold some stitch markers on. And then all of these stoppers. And these are actually extenders. So what you would do is, if you want an even longer cable, you could take a 40 and a 24 and attach them together. If you needed like a super long cable for a sweater, you would just attach them this way. So just to let you know what those are. So you even get some extenders. So yeah, I'm really impressed. So I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. And just I'm going to try to find a project to start working on them in and figure out what all these little, the extra doodads, I don't know what they are. And I'm really excited to add this to my needle collection, to have a really nice wood set. Especially since I've been having a weird metal allergy lately. It's nice to have a really good wood set to work with. The tips don't seem to be too sharp or too dull. You gotta watch that in wood needles. They can't make them super duper sharp because of the nature of just, you know, it's wood. But they look really nice and pointy. Let's see if I can show you a tip real quick. And of course the thicker needles are gonna be less pointy naturally. So these are the smallest, and then I'll show you the biggest set here. Oops, I mean to bump the camera. And you can see the tip on the bigger set. So there you go, is the tips on the size 17s. So alright you guys, I am done. I'm going to go ahead and sign out and try out these needles. I will let you know how they perform later. Bye.